The Met Police are facing a huge backlash after footage of a mother being handcuffed and arrested in front of her crying child caused outrage on social media. The crime she'd been accused of? Not paying bus fare. And it turned out she had, in fact, paid. This is what happened in Croydon, South London.
What the hell?
Is that her son? Initially, the Met said the video was a snapshot of a wider incident and the woman became abusive when asked to stop by police. But in what appeared to be a backtracking, a statement from the force later admitted the arrest was distressing for the mother and child, and while the boy was comforted by an officer, they regret the impact it may have on him. They've now referred themselves to the police watchdog, even though they've not identified any conduct matters. I hadn't watched that clip, and I'd avoided watching it all weekend. I've been tagged in loads of videos. I feel sick and upset every time I see the Met doing stuff like this, and it makes me want to cry, and I just get so angry and frustrated about it. And I've said 1,000 times we have to abolish the Met Police, because if I watched that video, I think if that was my son having to watch his mother or me be arrested and treated like that, I'd go effing nuts. And I just want to smash the Met Police, burn down every police building in this city, because it just happens again and again. And no matter how much I talk about it, it carries on. It doesn't stop.
Do you know what's terrible about that? I was already, standing there at the starting gate, ready to do my right-wing thing. Well, if she didn't want to get arrested, then she should have paid the fare. Well, it turns out she did pay the fare. That's what's terrible about that. I mean, how did that happen? Well, she paid the fare and she gets arrested for it.
I'll tell you how it happened.
There we go, yeah.
The Metropolitan Police are institutionally racist. They are corrupt from the top to the bottom. And, JJ, like you have so rightly said in the past, they are the biggest gang in London and they need to be disbanded. I echo you 1,000%. And we talked about this earlier on today. And like you, I've been tagged in 1,000 things. And I don't want to see it because, like you so rightly said, if it was me and my child, what really hurt me is that her son was in hysterics. It didn't need to happen. It was completely unnecessary because she paid the fare and then she was, quote-unquote, de-arrested. Have you ever heard of someone being de-arrested? The statement that the Metropolitan Police put out was a load of crap. No apology. Compensation for that mother, compensation for the trauma the child went through is the bare minimum.
But it should be more than that, because what you two have highlighted...
That's the bare minimum.
Yeah, of course. What you two have highlighted, though, is that two things. First of all, what on earth possessed them to arrest a mother and child anyway? I don't even care if they're skipping the thing. That is appalling in that first instance. The second thing is that you can tell that we have a distinct issue with race here, that somebody is presumed guilty. I don't want to live in a city where that is the case. I don't want to live in a city where I cannot trust the police who are looking over us, and I don't want to live in a city where good people are treated in a way which is inhuman and unacceptable. And if the police, the Met Police, do not see this as an issue that they have to address head-on in order to get the support of people up and down the country, I don't care whether you're black, white, old, young, gay, straight or anything else, the police is supposed to be a force that we can turn to when we need them and to deal with the things that they need to be dealing with, whether it's gun and knife crime and all these things, and also ingratiating themselves with the people who blooming well pay their wages and everything else. You're right. In the past, maybe I've looked away. I've seen it time and time again, and to hear it from your voices and indeed from our perspective, just to see that film, it's a disgrace.
Do you know, so many people on social media over the weekend were saying, well, if you comply, even if you've done nothing wrong, as long as you comply, then you won't get into trouble. Do you know who complied with the police? Sarah Everard.
Yeah.
David Carrick's victims. Actually, what are we teaching black people, women, black women, as we've seen in that clip? That you're supposed to, you're just presumed to have been...
To be guilty.
To be guilty. And then to be accused. It's this angry black woman trope of oh, she was being abusive, she was being aggressive towards us. No, she wasn't. If someone's coming up to you with handcuffs, how could any human being... Especially if they've not
she hadn't done anything wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, if any of us
you're with your child.
Yeah, if any of us were approached in that way and you hadn't done anything, I think you'd be pretty
And you know what?
fed up.
The attitude, you possibly couldn't hear it in that clip, but there there is there's the police officers dealing with the mother, or assaulting the mother. There's the PCSO with the son, and there's an officer stood next to the man who's filming it. And he keeps trying to defend the actions of the Met, saying, well, she's not compliant and she should be behaving herself. And I'm sorry, this officer here is the problem, because he should have been the one who stepped in and went, guys,
enough
no.
is enough.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the black community remain over-policed and underprotected by the police in this country.
Yeah.
And until we do something about it, we're going to see more and more of these videos.